Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. This week we're going to show you how we converted our 7-berth self-converted camper van. We have 7 beds in here. Well, I say 7 beds, it sleeps 7 people. So I'm going to show you how we did it in our archive footage from the build, because that was some time ago, and show you exactly how we made a double bunk at the top. We made a single bed that goes here. We have a European king at the back, and then up top there we have 2 bunks that are big enough for a 6'2" individual. Come on in, let's go. So yes, you did hear me right. In this van sleeps 7. We have 2 double beds and 3 single beds. We have made them all off our own back. We've not copied anyone's designs on these beds. This one and this one, it's a new design that I haven't seen anywhere, so come along with us. We have this bed at the top, our most controversial bed, I may add, because we've had some really funny comments over this. This is actually a double bed. This was built above the cab, where you have the bulk of the van at the front here that goes over the cab. We have built it out from the metal structured beam. Basically, I have the archive footage that I will put in from our actual build. I have braced and bracketed the whole side of this area, and this has 2 L. It's an L-shaped bracket from B&Q. We've had 2 of them for extra strength, and then we have the Strover beam, which is here, which you can't see from the carpet, that is now anchored straight across to another bracket that is on the chassis of the vehicle. I'm 15 stone and I can fit up here, and this is perfectly safe for obviously for my weight. It's been built out, so as you can see the slats there, it's come straight out. In the middle here is the actual metal chassis of the vehicle. So the bed has been built from the metal chassis there, and it goes all the way to the front of the vehicle and slopes down. This mattress is actually just short of a double mattress. We only had to cut off a small sliver of here. This is only for the 2 smallest children, and obviously when the question of the we get asked all the time, what are you going to do when they grow? Well, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. If you don't fit, you don't fit anymore. So that's one of them things. But as we move on now, we have a bed that goes here. Now, we made a fully interchangeable bed that just fits the space to make it a full single bed. I will show you that at the end of how we put that bed out. That was a very simple build to make and done in about 20 minutes. So I'll show you that. It's a real easy conundrum of a bed. As we come through the vehicle, we have this bed here is a European king. This has been done on the same pretext as the front bed with the IKEA Strover beams. Now this is a Strover beam, as you can see here. We have 2 single beds. This one is, I think, 5'9" on the right, and then the left one, this is 5'9" also, but this kitchen cupboard is not a cupboard. It is a cubby hole that we have built. So basically, if I pass you through here, this then fits to 6'2" foot capacity. So in there is there's no space. It's just an empty space. We built this cupboard out intentionally so that this bed could have 6'2" from the back to the length. You could stretch fully out. The 2 beds here were built on the same pretext of the Strover beams. So as you go through here, there is 3 Strover beams, and then we have the IKEA slats that are bolted to the Strover beams, and they anchor across. Now this is a Peugeot Boxer. It's a very wide vehicle. It's wider than your Ford Transits, it's wider than your Volkswagen, and basically I can lie sideways on. So excuse anyone that has a shoe problem. I'm going to keep my shoes on and lie on the bed, because we've had a few comments before about that. But basically I can lie completely sideways and I am not touching any of the sides, and I'm 5'9". So to give you a bit of perspective, you can sleep comfortably sideways without having to put any wings on. Now the bottom bunk bed was done on the same pretext of the Strover beams across, exactly the same as the top one. On the sides of the vehicle, like I said, I'll put the archive footage in. We used, instead of these brackets you get from IKEA that everyone seems to be using, where you bolt it onto the metal chassis, depending on the height of the vehicle, that can prove pretty difficult. This level has been bolted straight onto the metal chassis. The bottom level I had to be more creative with, and we have full rails that go the full length of this side and a full rail that goes the full length of the other side, and it had several anchor points so you could go into the chassis instead of having to just be in the certain points where the brackets, and you're very constrained to that area. The longer bracket from IKEA, which was a full length, give you more areas to anchor your bolts through, instead of just having the small tiny brackets that you see that obviously everyone keeps saying on the van sites this is the best one to use. It didn't work out as well for us. So basically we have a European King there. These two are 2 single beds. So, but you know, you don't have to have all this. This is just what we designed for our family of 7, because the van that we needed to have more sleeping capacity. But ultimately, that fits a family of 4 if you do require it very comfortably, and obviously all the space you wouldn't need that. As we go further on into the front of the cab, this is where the bed is, where I said before, our single bed. This is a full single bed, and this works extremely well. We have a full single mattress hidden behind our chairs here, and then from IKEA we have this little device. And this is a piece of free wood we got from IKEA, and on the back of it I have drilled on 5 brackets. These are the table legs off the cheap office tables that are from IKEA. They are £2.50 each, and they come like this but much longer. They are the Adils, and they are £2.50, and you get the leg and you get the bracket. And basically they are much longer. All I did was cut them down. So what we do here is we have 5 of these. They literally go onto the bed like so, and then the bed is the same height as the chairs that we have a row of 4 of. So with it being adjustable at the bottom as well, so if any of the corners are different sizes, you can adjust them, and it basically makes a full single layout. And it takes, I would say, less than 5 minutes to put in. It's not a particularly long job. Oh, there you go. There's an original one. We do keep an original 5 in the van because sometimes we like to cook outside on this table. It's a very sturdy table to have on there. So as you can see now, we have a lot of rubbish behind here, including a Hoover. So we have these ones, and then you go in on these, and basically once all these 5 legs are in, it makes the base for a single bed. Now, this was a very simple technique, and I've not seen it anywhere before. It only cost me £10 for the 5 legs, and then this was free. This was outside IKEA. It was a free piece of wood, and it fitted perfectly for what we needed. It then just slots in the space. So this here slots in the area where the bed's going to go. So all I need to do now is pull out the single mattress, which is stuck behind here, and this ultimately makes a full single bed that you just throw on. And it's exactly the same in the morning. You literally get up in the morning and the bed is the same simpleness to put away. This creates a full single bed with access. Yes, it was tight to get in and out, but it gives a full single. So ultimately now you have a full single bed. You have 2 that can sleep up here. You have 2 that can sleep down there in the European King, and 2 that are up there with access into the vehicle, access to the toilet, access to the kitchen. Without constraining everywhere you are, you can still functionally move around the vehicle. So if anyone needs to go to the toilet, you can get to the toilet. If you need to get obviously to the kitchen or the fridge or anything like that, it's still accessible, even though all the beds are set up. Because we didn't want a vehicle that when you get somewhere, it's going to take you the next 20 minutes to set up. Everyone has to get out, and it just sort of takes the fun out of it, where you're having to set up consistently all the time. Now, this was very budget friendly. We've seen some beds that are on these tracks that go up and down. We've kept this van on a very tight budget. Like I said, if you've watched our other videos, this van didn't cost us the earth for what it is. We built everything ourselves. But basically, like I said, it's been very well used. We've been everywhere. We've been all around Europe. We've travelled a lot, and it just works. It works really well. So as you can see here, this is our full layout from the rear end. We have our garage space underneath. Like I said, these are your brackets here. So they've actually anchored on these. These are secure on there. Well, it's literally it's rock solid. It doesn't move. We've been everywhere in this van. There's no movement, and it's the same with these. There's no movement. They're anchored in. As you can see now, we've got the 2 beds up there, the European King, and then as you can see through the actual vehicle, you've got the single bed further down. And it's difficult to put over in words how big this vehicle is. On a camera it doesn't look as big as it actually is, but it just functionally works. So if you want me to answer any questions, please put them in the comments. Ask away of any of the beds. I'll give you as much advice and as much knowledge as I've got of it. Like I said, 2 of these beds are unprecedented. I've not seen any of them made anywhere. It was all done basically just trial and error, see what works. These have worked superbly. Please drop in the comments if you've got any questions. There's loads of information on our Instagram, our Budget Travel Family. A lot of information on how these beds were made. Please like and share and comment on these videos. It all helps. And thank you so much for watching, and see you next week.